Here is one of my Australian friends. This is Checkers. Checkers is from Australia. He is a carpet python, and he is semi-arboreal, which means that if you go to Australia and you take a walk out in the wild woods, you might actually see a carpet python like him up in a tree. Now, in my case, I don't have a tree for him in his tank, so he lives down on the ground. But he obviously has a really strong ability to hold on to my arm as though it were a branch. So Checkers is a male, as far as I know. He's got a little bit of an iridescent sheen on his scales. Not exactly as much as a Brazilian rainbow boa, but a little bit of it, a nice kind of shiny sheen. And he is really friendly. Let's see. I call him Checkers because he's got kind of a checkerboard pattern. Almost like, if you look at a checkerboard where it's like white, dark, white, dark, white, dark. His scales look a little bit like that. Not exactly, but kind of. And so Checkers is really long and really thin, which is fairly typical for arboreal snakes. You can't be like super heavy and thick to live in trees. So typically arboreal snakes that live up in trees have a body that's medium heavy, medium to slightly heavy like this, but nothing like a full-blown boa constrictor adult where they're like, really, really thick. So he's kind of a light-bodied, slender, long snake. He's got this long body. He's probably 3 feet long. And he's got to be about, 2.5 years old, maybe 3 years old. And he is, like you can see, he's very, very curious. He loves to just go around and see what's over there. And he's the type of guy where if I set him down on the ground in about 15 seconds, he's going to find a chair leg to wrap himself around or a tripod. Like right here, I have a light here, and a camera here. If I set him down, he would absolutely try and climb up the tripod here. So I try to keep him far away from other things that he could touch because he loves to wrap his tail, especially because he's arboreal. He loves to wrap his tail around things and grab really tightly. So I try to only let him hold on to me. That way I don't have to worry about, trying to get him down off of a lamp or something like that. But Checkers is really fun, and he's, like I said, he's from Australia. And something interesting about Australia is that the laws in Australia are such that you cannot take snakes from Australia and bring them here to the United States. For about 20 or 30 years, it's been against the law to do that, which means that a snake like him has been bred from adults that were children of adults that were children that were adults that, from adults that were children of the original parents that came from Australia to the United States. So he was bred right here in the USA, but he is an Australian snake. So it's a very interesting thing to have an Australian snake that's completely bred for multiple generations right here in the USA. So he's got kind of a neat little pattern on his stomach too, which is a little bit different. It's soft and it's white and it's got these little square fleck marks on the bottom, which is a little bit different than his checkerboard pattern here. And some people say that carpet pythons have kind of like a caramel color here. And you can kind of see that. It is kind of caramely golden brown. So Checkers is really fun. I feed him mice every once in a while. He doesn't eat very often, but you would not believe the size of the mouse that he can put in his mouth. Of all the snakes I have, he can find a way to open his mouth wider than any of the others to eat prey that's much bigger than what you would expect. And maybe you can see it, maybe you can't, but on the side of his lips, here on his jaw, because he's a python, he's got those heat pits. And those heat pits allow him to discern where his prey is, even if it's totally black outside. So that's just another aspect of being a python. He's really confused by these lights. He has no idea what to think about these lights. Boop. He just booped his nose on one of the lights. And now, there he goes. See, he's starting to explore. So I need to go put him back before he tries to explore everything. But Checkers is a great Great pet. Ooh, there you go. Check out the camera. Say bye, Checkers. Bye.